Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of 3 Wide. This week the Verizon IndyCar Series was at Iowa Speedway for the Iowa Corn 300. In a race where it looked like the one dominant car was going to win the race, did not come to fruition when James Hinchcliffe's car came to life in the latter parts of the race and he ended up taking the lead and would never look back. But the top three finishers of Hinchcliffe, Piggott, and Takuma Sato are a little different than what it looked like coming to the last yellow flag. The caution came out when Ed Carpenter got sideways and Takuma Sato clipped him, which left a huge chunk of debris in the racing line and a caution was thrown. But there was only 5 laps left. But it seems like the teams were told that they would get one last lap. So, Newgarden, who dominated the race, and Robert Wickens, who was running in the third position, came down pit road to get tires, thinking that this could be like Phoenix and they can go flying around the guys who stay out. But this gamble did not pay off when they did not go green, causing this race to finish under caution. I'm okay with the race ending under caution, but if the IndyCar officials told the teams that they would get one lap left to race under green and potentially for the win, I believe they need to clean this up in the future so this doesn't happen again. And who knows, maybe when we're going for the championship at Sonoma, these points that Newgarden and Wickens could have got here could really come back to bite them in the end. And now we'll move on to my 3 takeaways from the Iowa Corn 300. Number 1, Ryan Hunter-Reay's day. Going into Sunday's race, Ryan Hunter-Reay looked to distance himself from the competition as he's the all-time winningest IndyCar driver at the Iowa Speedway. But things did not go to plan as late in the race, he came down pit road with some steering issues. This turned out to be lost camber shims. He ended up finishing 19th on the day and was 17 laps down. But if these camber shim issues didn't happen, Ryan Hunter-Reay's performance on the day, he would have finished probably in the top 5 and could have came out of this race with a lot better day than he had. So after these problems at Iowa, Ryan Hunter-Reay will look to reel in the championship ground that he lost at the Iowa race where he finished 19th. He's now 52 points behind the leader Scott Dixon and will look to close the distance at Toronto. Now on to number 2. Joseph Newgarden's dominance comes up short. After qualifying second on Saturday, Joseph Newgarden looked to set his sights on a victory at Iowa. And for the most part of this race, it looked like Newgarden was just going to run away with this and have another dominant victory to go under his belt for the season. But things changed as with 50 or so laps to go, James Hinchcliffe was reeling Newgarden in little by little, and he finally caught up to Newgarden, passing him, taking the win away from Newgarden. Newgarden on the day led 229 laps. That means only 71 laps were led by other people not named Joseph Newgarden. And just to add a little more insult to injury on Newgarden's day, where he lost more championship points that he could have reeled in on Scott Dixon, was when he came into pit on that last potential stop where he thought maybe he could pull another Phoenix and go zipping around the outside and win the race. But he ended up finishing 4th on today, giving up more points that he could have had on Scott Dixon. As of right now, he's 33 points behind Scott Dixon in the championship race. And with Scott Dixon having a less than stellar race, Newgarden and the whole Team Penske team will look like they'll really be kicking themselves for not executing on this one. And now on to number 3. The mayor is back in office. After having a tumultuous month of May where he missed the Indianapolis 500, James Hinchcliffe looked to subside his sadness from missing that race with getting a win this season in the Verizon IndyCars. And in the race at Iowa, he did that and subsided his sadness, getting the win, where he reeled in the dominant Joseph Newgarden, making the pass to get the W. This is Hinchcliffe's 6th career win and his first win in the Verizon IndyCar Series since Long Beach of last season. So now we'll see if Hinchcliffe and his Schmidt-Peterson teammate Robert Wickens can ride this wave of momentum throughout the season and maybe get both cars wins. Now on to my 3 things to look ahead to next week at Toronto. Number 1, Team Canada goes home. Going into the season, the Schmidt-Peterson team of James Hinchcliffe and Robert Wickens looked to carry the Canadian banner proudly. And now going into their home race in their home country, we'll see if they can produce a great race and maybe get a win and keep their momentum up in front of the Canadian crowd. Number 2, Joseph Newgarden looks to rebound and repeat. Last year in his first year with Team Penske, Joseph Newgarden went into Toronto and led 58 laps and got the win. He looked to rebound after what he'll describe as a disappointing day at Iowa and repeat at Toronto and reel in Scott Dixon to hopefully make up for what happened at Iowa, to potentially propel him to his 2nd straight Verizon IndyCar Series crown. Now on to number 3, Honda's dominance on the street circuits. At this point of the season, we've had 4 street circuit races. The one at St. Petersburg, won by Sebastian Bourdais, Long Beach, which was won by Alexander Rossi, and both Detroit races, which were won by Scott Dixon and Ryan Hunter-Reay, all of them driving Hondas. And now going going into one more street circuit race. We'll see if Honda can keep this up and keep their street circuit sweep going. So that'll do it for 3 Wide this week. Leave your thoughts about the IndyCar race from last week in the comment section below and what your thoughts going in Toronto are. And thanks for watching.